is Dan Riley taking you on an Odyssey into oratory. In a book about Winston Churchill, I remember reading an incident one of his drivers shared. On their way to a social gathering with political types, just before arriving, Churchill asked his driver to pull over for a minute. After about 30 minutes in some empty parking lot while Churchill was in the back seat writing on index cards, the driver asked, "Mr. Prime Minister, can I ask what exactly are we doing here?" "Why, certainly you can. I'm preparing for any impromptu remarks I might be asked to give tonight." For the truly great public speakers, there is an inviolable rule: never speak without being prepared. One who heeds this advice in the world of business will have an incalculable competitive advantage. Why? Because a high percentage of people in the world of commerce violate the rule. Some have never thought about the concept, others just discount it, and others wear as a badge of honor the slogan, "I'll just wing it." Well, I have decades of experience with the wing it crowd, and where you typically find them, as crazy as it might sound, is in the higher strata of management. These are people that routinely speak publicly as part of their job description, and given all their experience, they have overcome the terror. Notice I didn't say fear, the terror of public speaking, and are perfectly fine being just an average speaker. But many among the wing it crowd, more than you think, stay there because they want to stay safe and save face. If they really worked hard at improving their presentation skills, and subordinates knew how hard they worked at it, and they still came up short, their ego couldn't withstand the hit. So they stay among the mediocre in this category. Surprisingly, this is just a more complicated manifestation of the fear of public speaking. Suffice to say, I don't recommend being part of the wing it crowd. I'll talk more extensively on this during future videos. For now, let me get back to the thesis of this video: the incalculable competitive advantage of being prepared for what the uninitiated believe to be an unpreparable speaking situation. I can hear the obvious question now: how can I prepare for the unknowable? My business life is exceedingly dynamic. I have many chance encounters, spontaneous Zoom meetings or conference calls, and topics that come out of left field in many meetings I attend. Here's my answer. You can go one of two directions. One, you can avoid all gatherings, meetings, calls, etc. that are not mandatory, where there is even a remote possibility that you would be asked to speak, and by doing so, significantly limit your prospects for upward mobility. Or number two, figure out how to prepare for the unknowable. Now, to my way of thinking, the unknowable in the context of business communication is really a misnomer. What is really meant by unknowable is unexpected. But the world is replete with leaders and orators who have demonstrated you can be prepared to speak confidently and on point in situations that others would deem unexpected. Let me offer this strategy. Pick whatever would be a representative time frame for your job, a period that would include the totality of business communications situations you would find yourself in. It could be a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a calendar year, or a fiscal year. List those situations. I'll give you a few examples. Daily Zoom meeting, weekly sales meeting, product review meeting, advertising campaign, monthly product and loss review, quarterly review, annual review. Since past is typically prologue, prior to attending or participating in a future iteration of your listed events, in your mind, review anything that happened in past meetings that was unexpected. Oh, Jimmy should have known how many square feet the new Wegmans has. Oh, I should have known Middlesex County requires proof of vaccination for customers to enter bars. What percentage of DoorDash clientele are millennials? By reviewing past meeting surprises, then extrapolating into the future possible ones, you are preparing for the unexpected. Regarding meetings, make it a habit of never attending a meeting without spending some quality time reviewing the agenda in advance. What are the topics? What can I be asked regarding this subject? What unique perspective can I add? Who are the principals attending? What are their current focuses? What challenges are they currently facing? If there is no published agenda based on experience, create one in your own mind and work from that. Make some notes or bullet points for a quick reference with those unexpected topics that you now are expecting. After the meeting is underway and the conversation moves way off agenda, which it will invariably do, you will be prepared better than most. The single best habit, the habit that offers the most rewards with respect to promotion, raises, credibility, visibility, etc., is doing exactly what Winston Churchill did. Take some time, it doesn't have to be a lot of time, before you attend any meeting of consequence and prepare at least 3 segues. Of course, I'm not using the word intending its literal definition, but as a smooth transition to a different topic, a topic of your choice. They can be subjects related directly with the topics of discussion, tangentially related, or not related at all, but subjects you want to add to the conversation or build a reputation for being familiar with. Whether called on to speak impromptu or if you're offering an unsolicited opinion, you will have something of substance to offer. Now, when this happens to the unprepared, one of 2 scenarios typically unfolds. The person says nothing, coming across as a wallflower, or they ramble almost incoherently for about 5 minutes. Either scenario is disastrous for a career. The key to making an effective segue is having a creative bridge. The object is to take the conversation from where it is, then logically move it to where you want it to go. To do this, you need to be a very active listener. Recall a comment or subject that has already been expressed at the meeting and use it to introduce your pre-planned impromptu. I'll give you a few examples on how this can be done. You're asked your comments on what has been discussed already today, so far in the meeting. Here's a possible bridge. Earlier today, during Jane's presentation, we heard that millennials like their parents' music as much as the parents do. Well, did you know this same generation? Now you deliver your pre-planned mini-speech. If you can't find something specific from the meeting to use as a bridge, use a generic one. Here are a few examples. The comments Johnny made earlier reminded me of. Sally's report this morning made me think of. Sally's report made me think of. Because this is the first day of spring, I realized. Then you make your transition. If you have a segue prepared that you like to offer and the opportunity didn't present itself, you can use a current event as a bridge. Before we adjourn, I read this morning the federal deficit is approaching $30 trillion. Then you can move in to your pre-planned mini-speech. Trust me, once you understand the concept and practice it a few times, you'll see bridges everywhere, which will give you endless opportunities to offer well thought out, cogent, and relevant points or ideas in any meeting. In Toastmasters, we call this always having a speech in your hip pocket. Even if you're asked to comment on something you know little or nothing about, you can bridge your way into a topic you really do know something about. This skill can do wonders for a person's career, avocation, or social life. Mark Twain's observation was that it takes 3 weeks to prepare a good ad-lib speech. It is probably not good policy to disagree with Mark Twain, but in this case, I will. If you habituate preparation as I've suggested, it will be just a few extra minutes daily. The benefits you will accrue will be out of all proportion to the extra minutes extended. Of all the communication skills used in business, being a skilled and polished impromptu speaker may be the most valuable. In my new online class, I spend an entire module on impromptu speaking. It is that important. Until next week, this is Dan Riley taking you on an Odyssey into Oratory. Until then,